Video editors, lean in for a second because I need to ask if you are truly in control of the prices you are quoting. Or are there hidden, subconscious things making you lowball yourself and leave actual cash on the table? I'd argue most of the pricing moves I see from freelancers are straight up sabotage, especially early on. It definitely happened to me too, so don't feel bad. Today we're going to unpack exactly why that happens and how you can finally stop it. And later I'll drop a simple, no BS formula you can use to quote flat fees for absolutely any project, video editor or not. First up, we have to talk about the fear loop. New freelancers often panic about losing clients, so they quote low just to avoid scaring anyone off. The problem is that low quote quickly becomes a fixed habit and a signal that trains your clients to expect cheap rates. Pricing itself isn't random at all, it's actually a tiered game that evolves as your demand increases. When you are just starting out, yes, beggars genuinely cannot be choosers. You might need to do a few freebies or really cheap gigs just to build some initial proof. I did the exact same thing. My crew and I ran a free channel, popped up on local rappers' shoots, and traded music videos for exposure. It was completely raw, but it gave me a track record, actual analytics to show prospects, and a crucial network. Crucially, those free projects eventually turned directly into paid work later on. The faster you can actually grind through that first phase, the sooner you are going to exit it. If you only manage to take 1 gig a month, it could realistically take you years to build the momentum you actually need. I personally packed over 100 projects into just a year or two, tons of low-paying or free jobs. But the payoff was repeat clients, referrals, and a massive content backlog for social proof. Every single shoot, every single edit, every single BTS clip was a tiny little marketing piece for me. I posted that content constantly, and eventually it started actively drawing new clients directly to me. Then we move on to the mid-tier stage. You have a few steady clients, a consistent income, maybe a couple grand a month, and now you actually want to scale up. The real turning point happens when you finally become genuinely in demand. Suddenly your old clients start coming back, or people from your network hit you up because they saw your recent work on social media. Once I reached that tipping point, I finally raised my rates across the board. Some clients accepted that new price, and some of them definitely did not, and honestly, that is perfectly fine. If a few people bailed, I was totally secure because I already had other demand lined up. You simply cannot afford to do that if you have no one knocking on your door waiting for your time. Now, just a quick aside, yes, active outreach and pipeline building absolutely still matter to your business. I have put together frameworks around exactly where to find clients and how to message them, but that is not our primary focus for today. What matters right now is learning exactly how to price with real confidence once you are getting genuine interest. Okay, let's get into the secret formula. It is genuinely simpler than most people out there try to make it seem. Step 1 is to set your absolute minimum hourly rate, the very lowest number you will ever accept for your time. For me, during my initial come-up, that number was actually £25 per hour. Step 2 requires you to estimate the total hours for the entire job, including prep, shoot time, editing, revisions, and all admin tasks. If you are filming something like a club event, maybe that's 4 hours of actual filming plus 5 or 6 hours editing. Just call it a clean 10 hours to keep the math simple. Step 3 is to multiply those estimated hours directly by your established minimum hourly rate. That resulting number is your absolute baseline quote for the client. For me personally, 10 hours at 25 quid was £250. That was the quote that actually got me booked for filming bigger names. Step 4 means you need to add a small buffer specifically for unforeseen revisions and admin work, which I usually tack on about 10 to 20%. And finally, step 5 is to consider adding a value-based uplift. Are you delivering something that has a high return on investment for the client, like a promo that drives ticket sales or a teaser that gets massive clicks? If the answer to that is yes, you absolutely must price your service accordingly to reflect that value. That is truly it. The entire formula is fair, completely repeatable, and it stops you from constantly undercutting yourself. But here is the critical catch. Pricing alone will never save you if you don't have the actual content to prove your worth. That is precisely where consistent output and reliable distribution come into play. Clients ultimately don't just hire skill, they hire proven results and guaranteed reach. If you can clearly show clips that actually got attention, numbers that matter, or a steady content engine, you can always charge a premium. Now let me talk about a part of the grind that most people completely sleep on: repurposing and distribution strategies. If you shoot a massive project and then bury that footage on an external hard drive, you have actually wasted a ton of potential value. Every single long video is a hidden treasure trove of short, attention-grabbing moments that you can use to attract new clients. That is why I started capturing behind the scenes on every single gig and why I recommend making the absolute most of your long-form assets. If you truly want to scale your pricing and actually be worth that higher fee, you absolutely have to show traction. And that is the exact point where helpful tools start to become incredibly important. There are a lot of video repurposing tools out there. Some of them are pricey, while others only do very basic trimming or force you into clunky workflows. A lot of creators end up having to stitch together 5 different apps just to get from one long video to a full month of social posts. That entire process is frustratingly slow and it costs you far too much money. Enter Vizard, and I'm not making a hard sell here, just showing you a pragmatic tool I would use to speed up this exact stuff we are discussing. Vizard digs deep into your long videos, finds the truly viral moments, and spits out clips that are ready for you to post immediately. It is much more than just a simple auto trimmer you might find elsewhere. It is actually smart about what content is likely to perform well, so you don't have to constantly play content roulette. Then you can schedule those freshly made clips, just set your posting frequency and let the AI automatically queue them up for you. That single feature alone can easily save you hours of work every single week. And the content calendar feature keeps everything organized where you need it, planning, tweaking, and publishing across all your platforms without juggling a dozen other tools. Why am I mentioning this specific tool right now in this conversation? Because when you are actively building that crucial social proof to justify raising your prices, automation and volume are massive advantages. Imagine finishing a gig and instantly having a stack of clips scheduled to post over the next month. BTS teasers, highlight reels, each one acting as a tiny billboard for your services. You are not just selling a single edit anymore, you are selling measurable reach and tangible results to clients. Now, for a fair comparison, other platforms can certainly do parts of this whole process. Some of them are great at the actual editing, but they completely fail when it comes to multi-platform scheduling capabilities. Others are essentially glorified uploaders with very steep, recurring monthly costs attached. And a few tools promise some kind of general AI magic, but they only manage basic auto-trimming and completely miss the context, so you end up doing all the editing work yourself anyway. Vizard, in my own experience, truly hits that sweet spot. It is affordable compared to those big enterprise suites. It actually extracts good clips instead of random segments, and it provides scheduling so you can automate distribution. That right there is the concrete difference between making one single post and successfully running a full content pipeline that convinces clients you can generate attention consistently. Let me now give you a practical cheat sheet that you can literally use tonight for your next quote. First, you must decide your minimum hourly rate and stick to it unless you have a very strategic reason to offer a discount. If you're unsure where that floor should be, calculate all your living costs, plus taxes, plus reinvestment, plus your desired profit, and then divide by your realistic billable hours. That final number is your absolute floor that you should never go below. You should never argue with your own established floor price. Second, you need to diligently count every single hour you spend, including prep, shooting, editing, revisions, admin, travel, and even color grading. If you underestimate the time required, you are guaranteed to lose money on the project. If you overestimate just a little bit, you actually win a healthy buffer for unexpected issues. Third, multiply your hourly rate by those estimated hours, add a 10 to 20% buffer, and then consider a 20 to 50% value uplift if the project drives direct client revenue. Fourth, you should package all of this into one clean flat fee because most clients inherently prefer that price predictability. A clear flat fee plus a defined scope means significantly less back and forth negotiation later. And finally, build that content repurposing task directly into your quote by charging a small extra fee to deliver and schedule 15 to 30 social clips. Trust me, clients absolutely love seeing the immediate return on investment from that small extra service. If you can adopt this framework, you will finally stop trading your time for pennies and start selling the actual outcomes. And if you are trying to be the person who expertly converts one long shoot into weeks of social content, stop wasting time on manual chopping. Instead, use a smart tool that finds the best moments for you and automatically schedules them for publication. This is not some gimmick. This is precisely how you make your portfolio actively perform for you while you are literally sleeping. One final note. If you are still deep in that early hustle phase, please do not hyper-focus on the money right now. Instead, take the gigs that are strategically building your portfolio and valuable industry relationships. But always be strategic. Pick the projects that give you reusable clips and measurable wins you can point to. Make sure you capture BTS footage on every single job you take on. Post the resulting content consistently and use smart tools to amplify the impact of your finished work. Then when it is finally time to raise your prices, you will have all the documented proof you need to powerfully back it up. Alright, that is the entire pricing playbook. It's simple, it's repeatable, and it is fundamentally honest. If you want that core formula one more time, it is minimum rate multiplied by estimated hours plus buffer plus value, uplift equals your final flat fee. Do that consistently, show the world the results with all that repurposed content, and just watch your negotiating power rapidly grow. If you want a practical edge right now to actually make this whole process happen much faster, try a repurposing and scheduling workflow that genuinely extracts the good stuff from your long videos. It is a small, relatively simple change that makes a gigantic difference in how clients will perceive your true value in the market. Go out there, film with purpose, collect all the receipts you can find, and then price your services like you truly deserve that high fee. Peace out and go get paid what you are worth.